Hello everyone, Ladislas Maurice of The Wandering Investor, and today we are going to go to the mountains of El Salvador to look at real estate options.
We're super excited for today because we're gonna see some mountain developments. A lot of people that come to El Salvador, they don't wanna be by the beach because they think it's too hot. You know, some people love it, but some people say wanna be more where the weather is more cooler. And this is what we're gonna see today. It's just gonna be 40 minutes away from the beach. Also, we're gonna check the most exclusive golf country club of El Salvador. And if you play golf, that's the place that you need to be. It's the only country club with residence.
And I'm really excited about the lots here in the mountains because they're in the middle of an avocado and coffee farm. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
And in the middle between the beach and the city, because you are just 40 minutes away from the beach and 30 minutes away from the city.
Awesome, let's go.
Yeah.
So what's the name of this little town?
This is Tamanique.
Cute. Oh, there's a little playground here. There's the church at the back as well.
Yeah, all the little towns here in El Salvador, like this one, have the church, the mayor office, and the parking, you know, for the kids. So in the afternoon, all the kids come here and play. Also, all the tourists that are stay on the beach came here to do the waterfall tour here. And it's some of the most beautiful waterfalls,
really?
You know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And were towns like this unsafe before? Or what was it just the capital city? Like was crime an issue here as well?
I don't know, but like this place, I've been coming here for many, many years to do the waterfalls. I never have problems, you know.
Cool.
So
Beautiful. Very charming. I actually met some expats 2 nights ago that bought land here. They live in El Zonte and then they wanted a little mountain/village retreat. So they bought here because it's just 20 minutes away from El Tunco.
yes, and this is what's happening, you know, that people came with the dream to have a beachfront property, and it's okay if you just come for a few months of the year, but once you live in here, you start to think like, wait, El Salvador have more than just beachfront, you know? We have this beautiful mountain just 30 minutes away from the beach and 30 minutes away from the city, so you can live on the middle. And something that it's also really appealing to people is the weather. If you are here at night, probably you need a small sweatshirt, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really cooler.
Last time I came around, I went to Berlin. It's that little, beautiful little colonial town about 2 hours away from San Salvador in the other direction. And that city is all Bitcoined out as well, because you're very involved in the whole Bitcoin community, Bitcoin project here in El Salvador. So what's happening in Berlin? Have there been recent developments there?
The guys there are doing great job, you know, creating a Bitcoin circular economy. It's working really well. Like some expats moved there, you know, and a lot of people also that are coming to El Salvador that they don't have a big budget, they still are in the, you know, stacking sat or earning and working, you know, and they cannot live in El Zonte, for example, because it's more expensive to live, to renting a house. People are deciding and looking now to places like Berlin, you know, because you can renting a house in Berlin for $400 per month, you know, $500 per month. You cannot do that in El Zonte, you know. But also the unique thing about Berlin is that since Gerardo and Evelyn started the Bitcoin circular economy there, people have a purpose to visit in Berlin, you know. And this is something cool, and this is something that we're working with Bitcoin Beach to create more Bitcoin circular economies in these little towns, that when people come or want to move to El Salvador, they can also have places like Berlin to go and visit or living there, you know?
Yeah, because the reality is the government was forced by the MF to remove Bitcoin as legal tender and to remove I forgot the name of the wallet, whatever, the government-sponsored Bitcoin wallet. But the reality is people are just switching to private wallets, and the private sector still pretty much accepts Bitcoin. So in reality, on the ground, nothing really has changed.
Bitcoin never was forces to use, you know. In fact, I think it's positive, this change, you know. I'm seeing more adoption now. I'm seeing more people into Bitcoin. People still buying properties with Bitcoin. People still paying for groceries in Bitcoin, you know. We still have the Bitcoin tourism booming, so. So we're here in one of the first development on the Mountainside. This is literally 40 minutes from the beach, and we're just 30 minutes from the city in this way. And this is subdivision. People can buy here just lots, build their dream homes in the mountain, you know.
And I have to say the road up to here was really good. Just the last 2 minutes were not great, and even there they were actually working on it. So like easy roads.
Yeah, and we're gonna hear from the founder of the project today how this beautiful piece of property was a coffee farm. Now it's actively a coffee avocado, you know, so people will feel, you know, that maybe your lot already came with some avocados tree, you know, that concept that you live in the farm, you have enough land to cultivate it. That is one of the reasons that a lot of people also want land in the mountain, you know, and have enough land to grab your veggies, fruits. And also we're gonna visit in the common areas, because it's gonna be a gated community that will have the common areas like bars, playgrounds for the kids. I think it's gonna have a paddle, barbecue areas, and some stunning views to the beach.
Awesome, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
We're here with Jorge, whose development this is. ¿Qué tal, Jorge?
Muy bien y bienvenidos.
Gracias. ¿Y cuál es la visión de este proyecto?
Es ofrecer terrenos para que puedan construir casas de retiro, simplemente para inversionistas que quieran construir para Airbnb.
¿Y cuál es la historia del terreno?
Estas propiedades en el siglo pasado fueron de la familia Martínez. Nosotros en el año 1992, se lo compramos a un heredero de los Martínez. Y tenía cultivo de café, estuvimos produciendo café, montamos un beneficio de café ecológico y entregábamos el café en pergamino y una parte lo tostábamos, pero luego por tema de caída de precios del mercado internacional decidimos cambiarnos a aguacatejas, y en el 2020 hubo problemas por tema cambio climático, y de producir 25,000 cajas de 10 kilos caímos a producir 5,000 y buscamos una alternativa. Aquí tenemos plantados 5,000 árboles de aguacatejas.
¿Y todos los terrenos tienen aguacates?
El 90% tienen aguacate. El otro 10 tienen café.
Gracias. And what are the prices roughly?
Here we have lots, it's around $100 per square meters. And we have big lots. The smaller lots are 1,700 square meters lots. So this is the perfect development that you can buy your lot and build your dream home. Like Jorge say, a lot of people that live in the city, that want to leave the city, they're buying here because they want to live in an environment like this. Look at the view of the ocean. Being inside of our avocado farm, you know, a coffee farm, the weather is cooler. So we're seeing this after the pandemic as well, that people are willing more to leave the city and live in a gated community like this. So it's hard to find like a small lot that you can buy. You know, you find like 170 acres of coffee farm, you know. So for a lot of people, for our clients, international clients, after they buy on the beach, they start seeing on the mountain, you know. And we're bringing a lot of clients here now, and they love it because they're with a better weather, close to the city and close to the beach.
And I think this is an important point. So we're not in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we saw we're 40 minutes away from the beach, El Zonte, El Tunco, where a lot of foreign capital is flowing into. but also we're close to the city. So it's not just a play on, beach people wanting a mountain retreat. It's also a play on San Salvador people wanting a place also 35 minutes away. So the addressable market is quite big. And that's why it's also, it's not cheap. Let's be clear, it's not cheap. The building density is very low. So I like that about this project.
You can build on 25% of the side of the lot, but it's also thinking about that you're not gonna live in a gated community that is all built. You're gonna build your home and you're gonna live in a place that you're gonna be walking, you're gonna be running, and there are trees all over the places, And I think that's something that I really like it about his vision. Vendió un lote. Did you see people are calling? Did you see hot sales?
Talking about hot sales, this is still very much early stage. The roads are built, the amenities are not built yet. A lot was sold.
Yes, he already sold 45% of the lots. We still have like 45 lots available here of 70, 75.
So let's say I want to buy something in this area, but I don't want to be in a gated community because whatever, I don't like gated communities, or I want, a cheaper price. What would be the equivalent price for such a lot outside of a community, just raw land that I need to develop?
Actually, that's a good question, and it's hard to comparable with something else outside because there is not a lot of inventory, because like I say, all this area used to be coffee farms, and we have other coffee farms, but are big coffee farms. We have a client that he purchased 100 manzanas, 170 acres of land, He tried to buy like a small piece from the vendor, and he say, no, everything or nothing. To give you an idea, it might be, we have some lots that maybe will be around 100K maybe, but you're not talking that it's not inside of a gated community with amenities, water, electricity, internet, all ready just to connect it.
All right, so this is an interesting lifestyle opportunity for people that are into this. And now we are going to...
After here, we're going to El Encanto. We have 3 golf courses in El Salvador. And El Encanto is the most exclusive golf country club with residents that you actually can live there.
All right, let's go.
For many people, having an avocado or a mango tree in their house is a dream.
So Roman is absolutely lovely, but his driving is so crazy that even though our video equipment has stabilizers and all that, they just stop working when he drives. So
that's happened when you want to see too many things in one day, That's your problem.
Yeah, that's the cost of efficiency. Talking about tours, can you tell us about your the tours that you organize for potential investors or people who want to move to El Salvador?
Yes, we became with this idea with Lexi and our team. Everyone is interested in El Salvador. Everyone wanna visiting. Everyone wanna understanding what type of opportunities we have here, but they don't know where to go and they don't wanna go where to start it. So we started something that we call discovering trips. There are basically 5 days of real estate dive deep in, and where we have workshops with architects, engineers, lawyers, accounting. We see different areas of El Salvador, like beaches, gated communities, the city, the mountains. And the idea is that after these 5 days, you will have the knowledge, you will have the understanding, you will have the confidence, because I think confidence is everything. When you're understanding what you're doing, you feel confidence to investing more. But the most important thing is that you're understanding if you want to be on the beach, or you want to be on the mountain, or you want to be in the city. Or you can become with the conclusion also that El Salvador is not for you yet, because a lot of people say that in the end as well,
Yeah, El Salvador is absolutely not for everyone. At the end of the day, it's still a pretty niche destination.
When I say that it's not for everyone, that it might be in the stage that we're now as a country, it's not for everyone. Now it's for builders, for people that like to move first, that want to be first on something, you know, and a lot of people, a lot of investors, entrepreneurial people find El Salvador really interesting in the stage that it is now, and really excitement, you know, about it, because there's so many opportunities here now.
There's a link below in the description. You can get in touch with Roman and find out when the next discovery trip is. And then also in the description below, there's a link to my El Salvador real estate analysis and investor guide. I analyzed the whole country, the different cities, the ones I find interesting, the one less interesting, some key mistakes you should avoid. There's a link below as well. The thing with traveling with Roman is he constantly makes pit stops. What are you drinking here?
This is tamarindo juice.
And look at these views. Look at this. San Salvador, the capital city. Beautiful. Roman, tell us about San Salvador. How's the capital city developing?
San Salvador is a small city, but it's really nice city in terms of developing. Every time you come to the city, you see a new building, a new skyrise, you know, a lot of apartments building now.
What are the average price per square meters for an apartment in a premium area off plan?
Now what is coming is that even Salvadorian people or the diaspora Salvadorians that live in the USA, they're buying these apartments, and what we're seeing now is like smaller apartments, you know, like 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms apartments, maybe between 80 square meters up to 150 square meters, you know. The average price can change. It can go between 2,000, and we see in San Benito, for example, that is one of the most expensive areas. I will say up to $5,000-$6,000 per square meter.
So yeah, it's a recurring theme. El Salvador is not cheap.
But then you can buy also apartments for $150,000, $200,000 per apartment, you know, 110, 120 square meters. But I'm giving you an average of everything, you know, that you could find in the market. You gotta understanding also that El Salvador is a small country, so land will cost more than other places because there is not a many land, you know. The country is small, you know.
And what about traffic and infrastructure development? Because last time I was here, traffic was hell.
The traffic in the city, for example, for us, we really try to get there in the times that there is no traffic after 9 a.m. in the morning and leave the city before 4 p.m. But that's why you're seeing that the city is coming outside, you know. That's why we're seeing a lot of new projects, you know, that are like 20, 15 minutes from the city, or we're here in the way to the beach, and you're seeing like different gated communities that have been built now.
The whole area between San Salvador and La Libertad, that highway between the beach and the capital city, is bound to just grow until it just becomes one big agglomeration.
Yeah, I know that is one of the biggest challenge, and I know the government is trying to solve them to improve the transportation, and I think it's essentially for the growing of the city, you know. And also what is beautiful to see is that the city is also getting decentralized in some ways, you know, that people now, before everyone want to live on the city, and now people prefer to live outside and just go to work. As long as the public transportation gets better, I think more people will want to take that, like in the biggest cities in Europe or Colombia. I was in Colombia and people use the metro, you know. to El Encanto Country Club. Buenas.
Roman, who's the target market for a place like this?
The target market here is families, golfers. If you play golf, this is the place that you need to be, you know. We're seeing a lot of Bitcoiners moving here, people that want to live in a nicer community in El Salvador with beautiful amenities. This is the place, you know. You see here, it's a mix of foreigners, expats, locals, diplomatic, Bitcoiners, like I mentioned it. It's for everyone who can afford it.
We're seeing an increasing amount of families, just from talking to people and stuff, that are moving to El Salvador because they feel that they have a bit more freedom in terms of how they can raise their children. There are some international schools here, but there are also these homeschooling hubs that are being set up by these typically Americans, Canadians, some Europeans that don't want their kids to go to normal school, and they prefer to have the kids, you know, work on other stuff or be on their own schedule. So there's a lot of that. And then communities like this, I mean, from a tenant's point of view, if you're gonna buy a place like this and you can't really move in right now and you wanna rent it out, I mean, I guess Airbnb's banned, I guess, here?
Yeah, it's not possible to do Airbnb, but a rental here, houses, you will not find houses for less than $3,000 to $4,000 per month, you know? And they're not houses.
Yeah. Typically your tenants would be foreign executives or diplomats at, you know, one of the many embassies here in El Salvador. I think that would be the typical tenant. Or these Bitcoin people that are moving down here, they're giving family life a try in El Salvador, and they'll rent a place here for a year or two before pulling the trigger on a property.
This is a quick story about one of our clients. He bought in El Zonte in Bitcoin Beach, but he came here a few times now, and he's saying, I want to move my family here, but we don't want to live full time by the beach. So he's buying a lot here. He's gonna build their family house here, and they will use Zonte as their second house for vacation on the weekend.
Nice. I like how low density it is here.
Yeah, and the weather here is magical, man. Like,
Are we in wet season right now?
this is the winter time for us. Winter goes from April to November, but most of the day raining during the night. And look at now, we have like 30 degrees all day.
Yeah, it's a nice country. It's a nice country. I understand why people are moving here. Beautiful amenities, very nice community.
Yeah.
It was a bit hard to take videos and pictures because of privacy restrictions. But yeah, I understand why people would want to move here. What's the price point?
Here, people can buy a lot and build their dream home here. And the prices per lots, per square meters, started in $300 more or less, and it can go up to $360 depending on location, view, and everything. And then houses, the cheapest house here will go for $650, like 345 square meters homes. And then we also have houses that people built, families built, and now they want to resell. Those are big homes and are going to be maybe close to $1 million or above $1 million, you know.
Okay, so roughly $240,000 for an actual lot if you want to build yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, the value proposition is pretty clear in terms of target market for foreigners. It's people that want to move here, they want to relocate, they want lower taxes, they want safety, and they want to educate their children the way they choose to. And there is that level of freedom here in El Salvador that people from certain provinces in Canada or some states in the US do not have. So obviously it's a niche proposition. It's not for everyone. I do understand why people would want to live here.
I play golf here, so I love it, but it's also the community here, you know. People will imagine that just because it's the most exclusive gated community here in El Salvador will be like crazy expensive, like in the USA or Canada, you know. But the reality is not, you know, and you have here a good mix of people between Salvadorians, expats, Bitcoiners, people that are working here in embassies, you know, diplomatic, but it's a good community, you know, and I think that is key in places when you relocate to another country, that community that make you feel you make friends easier, you know, and quality friends that I think that is important. And also, you're just 35 minutes away from the beach from here, 25 minutes from the city. So it's right in the middle. And if you play golf, this is the only place that you can live. We have 3 golf courses here in El Salvador, and this is the only one that you can live with residents, you know. And then if you have a family, there is not a better place to live because all the amenities that your kids can do here, like paddle, squash, pickleball, tennis, football, the gym, the pool, everything thinking in families, you know, and that's why a lot of people that come here choose this place to live.
Equivalent living in the US would be a lot more expensive. If you were to buy a house in such an equivalent development, a community in the US. So I also understand the trade-off that some people are making. They're like, well, we want that lifestyle. We can't really get this in the US, but we can get this here.
Yeah,
so
that's key, yes.
That is key, eh? Or just compare your 2-3 bedroom condo in whichever big North American city and look at what you could get here. So personally, I find that just from a pure investment point of view, not that I think that this is great for rental income or, you know, you're going to double your money on lots, etc. I think there's more liquidity here and there is more potential for capital appreciation here than in the avocado lots that we saw before.
Yeah.
I mean, they're two you can't compare the two ultimately. What about the healthcare situation in El Salvador? Because for Americans, they often have affordability issues and Canadians just don't get healthcare.
Yeah, no, Ed, that's a great question because that's the number one question that we always receive, you know, when people are thinking to move here. So let me explain you really quickly in this way. In El Salvador, we have 2 systems, the public one and the private one. The public one, it has been improving a lot and it's getting better every time and it's public. But then the private system is, I will say, better than many things in the USA or Canada, comparing to the USA and Canada. As a local, or if you're resident here, you can have insurance here, and the insurance will cost you between $80 and $150 or $200 per month.
And that covers inpatient and outpatient?
Yeah, everything, you know. And once you go to the private system, brother, it's really good. We have been having friends here from Canada, from the USA, you know, that have emergency, and we have been taking them to the hospital. And the result is that they're impressed by the quality and how they treat you, you know.
And if you want to see a specialist, you don't need to wait 18 months.
No. In fact, a lot of people are coming to El Salvador. For example, all the Salvadorians people that live in the USA, they come to get their medical checks here, you know? And we're seeing more and more that people are coming here to do dentists, for example. Here, it will be better quality and you will pay 1/3 of what you pay there. And you know something that we start seeing a lot, that people that are buying here are people that want to skip the winter in Canada, in the USA or in Europe, and they want to have a place here. A lot of people that don't play golf are choosing like a place here because we have the sun every day. I met a couple that they buy here one apartment. We have apartments here. They're sold out, but sometimes there are some apartments available in resale.
How much roughly?
$450 for an apartment.
$450.
Yeah, $450. And this couple, they
3 bedroom, 2 bedroom?
3 bedrooms, yeah, on that. But this couple, they choose to live here because his wife needs sun, you know. And he's like, this is the perfect place for us to be. Spend the summer, whatever you want, and 6 months in a place like El Salvador.
I don't know, how much are the HOAs for a normal house here, roughly?
Here it will go, the HOA fee will go around $350.
Okay, which is again a fraction of what you would pay in the US in terms of HOA. And with that price difference, you could literally have full-time help at home.
Yeah.
Right, so you can be in the US, pay your HOA, or be here, pay your HOA, and have a full-time staff at home taking care of the kids, cleaning, cooking, doing whatever. So again, when you look at it this way, it's actually really affordable.
That's what I told our clients. El Salvador is a place that you can live your dreams, you know, like having help at home. I don't like to say that it's more cheap, but it's more affordable, you know? It's like you can do that. El Salvador is a place that if you want to eat lobsters every day, you can eat lobster every day, you know? You hear me in the phone 2 days ago that I'm ordering lobsters, $12 per pound.
You ordered lobster and shrimp and paid with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Cool. On these beautiful words, I wrote a whole article on the real estate market here in El Salvador, the cities that are interesting, the places you should avoid, the tax situation, like a lot of information. There's a link below. And if you want to get in touch with Roman, you can help people with real estate in the whole country, right? Your team is all over.
Yeah.
All right. And there's also a link below.
Thank you.
Roman, thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, linked below. And feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.